How's it going today, buddies? Hopefully everybody is well. So today is the Lucha Libre news / rant show, as everybody knows by now. So let's just dive right into things, shall we? So last week, seen a pretty epic matchup in which Le Parc teamed up with Ray Wagner. Now, why Le Parc would team up with Ray Wagner when the two are currently in a feud and the two are set to headline next year's Triple Mania really makes no sense to me, but hey, whatever. The two are facing Rush and Bista in tag team competition. Now, really, anytime you get Rush in the same ring as Le Parc, you know you're going to be in for an insanely good matchup. Now, for the 100% of the first round, we've seen Rush and Bista pretty much just beat down on Le Parc and Wagner before Rush was able to, of course, pin Le Parc for the 3 count. The second matchup was, of course, then won by Le Parc and Wagner. Now, the third round, seen Wagner and Le Parc really starting to take it to Rush and Bista, and the match turned into more of a tag matchup instead of just 4 guys beating up on each other. This matchup really seen everything that you really had, everything that you really want to see in a good Lucha Libre tag team matchup. Now, pretty much almost everything. I'd even seen the ref get involved in comedic type fashion. Third round, of course, seen Ray Wagner pull up the win by pinning Bista and letting his team, of course, win the 3 now. Or win the 2 out of 3 falls. Ray Wagner and Le Parc ended up winning that matchup. Now, all in all, it was a pretty good matchup. I mean, it wasn't great, but definitely was the best matchup that I've seen all week, for sure. Quick update on Zeusex. Now, she is still involved in the Mae Young Classic. She is now going on to round 2. Of course, however, the WWE, when they announced her name, they announced her name wrong and they bill her as a Japanese-style wrestler instead of a luchador. But that's the retards at the WWE for you. Now moving on to MLW. Now MLW Fusion 24 just took place about a day or 2 ago. The main event seen Phoenix, who is one half of the MLW Tag Team Champions. He took on the MLW Heavyweight Champion, Loki. The match began and it was just meh, really, for me. I mean, there's nothing special, it was just alright, but with Loki being involved in the match, what could you really expect, alright? It was a wrestler versus luchador matchup, so really that aspect was really the only intriguing part of this whole matchup. All in all, the entire matchup really didn't have a really good feel to it. I mean, it wasn't really exciting. It was just kind of, boring and lame. It really was not special at all. The overseller and wrestling retard, Loki, ended up winning that matchup. Obviously, I'm not a big fan of him at all. It would have been nice to see Phoenix win it. I think that's what the MLW really needs, is a guy like that to win the title, because of course him and his brother are both the most in demand and most popular luchadors of today. So it really would have been nice to see him win it, but that's a retard wrestling organization for you. Now, of course, talking about Phoenix, Pentagon and Phoenix, who are both the most in demand luchadors of today, found themselves involved now with the AAW. Phoenix, who entered the Jim Lehman Memorial Tournament this year. Phoenix ended up winning the first round of that matchup by pinning Shane Strickland. He is now moving on to the second round of that tournament. He's going to face a DJ Z for the tournament. During the same night, seeing Pentagon Zero taking on Brody King for the AAW World Heavyweight title. Of course, Pentagon ended up losing that matchup, and Brody King ended up doing his first ever successful World Heavyweight title victory. All in all, was alright, nothing to really write home about. So really, anytime you see Phoenix involved in a matchup is always a good time. AAA had an event not long ago as well in Guantánamo. The matchups for that, I'm just going to go through this, pretty much letting you guys know what I thought of the event. Now, for a AAA event, it wasn't really that great. Usually AAA events tend to be a little bit more exciting, things like that. This one was just okay. Nothing really special about it at all. So Angel Leica and Lady Shani, Hamburger Child, ended up defeating Aries, the Black Parka, and Lady Wonder. Magic, or Golden Magic, and Puma King ended up defeating Aerostar and Drago. Now, no surprise there. I mean, tag team, they've been pushing Aerostar and Drago in pretty much every Lucha Libre organization. The two are tag teams. I mean, this is really just a bad tag team. I mean, they rarely ever win. It's just like they had two loser Lucha Libre, like luchadors, and they didn't really know what to do with them, so they ended up just slapping these two together, and they were like, hey, they could lose together from now on. Which is pretty much any time you see Aerostar and Drago involved in a matchup, I mean, they lose, and it's not even like entertaining. It's just, at this point, it's just sad. You know what I mean? Like, anytime I see these guys in the ring, I almost like just want to fast forward it. I mean, even in Lucha Underground, I believe it was last Wednesday, they ended up being involved in a handicap matchup against Jake Strong, and they even lost that matchup. I mean, who loses a friggin' handicap matchup against some retard? But anyway, Imposter, the La Parka, and Murderer Clown ended up defeating Dave the Clown and Monster Clown, which I thought was pretty good, rather surprising. Not the surprise of the night, but I definitely thought that was a really good matchup. Now, Son of the Ghost and Jeff Jarrett ended up defeating Blue Demon Jr. and Psycho Clown. I'm not a fan of Psycho Clown. I know everybody tends to really like him and tends to be all about him. I think he's just a really not, like, he's entertaining, but I mean, he's not a really good luchador. Like, I mean, I don't know. I think he would probably be better set for a different organization, or maybe if he moved over to like a wrestling company, he would probably be better suited there. I mean, to kind of just slap him in these Lucha Libre matches, I mean, I don't know, it's just, he's not really very good, especially when you team him up against someone like Blue Demon Jr. Like, I mean, I don't know, that's just, to me, it's like disrespectful to like a legend to give him like a joke of a partner like this guy. But I mean, what do I know, right? I'm just an asshole with the camera. But anyway, guys, that's the video for today. I hope you like it. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, you know, very much. And I will check you in the next video.